Hi there, my name's Trista for Congress, and welcome back to this is part two. What we're doing is we're doing a speed summary of Too Much Never Enough by Mary L. Trump. I think this, as a long-standing, award-winning teacher myself, that for the hashtag new national curriculum, this should definitely be on it. Everybody in America should read this book, and since not everybody in America can read anymore, then I'm doing it for you. I'm doing your job for you. So anyway, yeah, you get to twofer when you write me in for Congress on September 15th here in Tucson, Arizona. We get to send a watchdog to Congress, which is exactly what we need. We need to send an ass kicker and not another ass kisser to Congress. And day one, I will be flooding the zone with about at least 100 Congress-ready resolutions, which I'm posting on my Substack, Trista de Genova. I'm also an award-winning multimedia journalist and comedian, artist, teacher, as well as teacher. So anyway, we're talking about how Diaper Donald became such a monster, and so when he was kids, and this book is so wonderful in that, and this explains exactly why he has the same kind of psychological profile as Jones, the Kool-Aid cult, just a very cruel, sadistic person who has absolutely no empathy and gets off on people and causing suffering. How did that happen? This book answers that question. So here we go, and smash that follow, like, and share, and also tell all your Tucson friends to write me in for Congress on September 15th. So anyway, yeah, his mother was sick. She had some complications after giving birth to his brother, his slightly younger brother, but he was only like 2 or something at the time, and his father didn't know how to. His father was a workaholic and sociopath, and he didn't know how to children. That was like, he was also a misogynist, so that was like the mother's. He saw that that's the mother's thing, and he was throwing rocks, heads, and he was such a terror that they sent him to military school, and it was supposed to be kind of like punishment. His father wanted his kids to be killers, So he's like a sociopath, according to Mary Trump, who's a psychiatrist. She says that Fred Trump is a sociopath. He is, and Diaper Donald is also, that's how he picked it up, but he's also a narcissist. He's also antisocial, and I would say, as a former Oxford psychology tutor, that he's definitely a toxic, malignant, narcissistic psychopath. Let's use the P words. Let's use that P word. And where are those P tapes anyway? Ha ha ha. Anyway, so yeah, sadistic arsehole POS that was conditioned not to show any human emotion, and who looked down on anything like that as weakness. And he saw, Diaper Donald saw from the way his older brother was treated, Mary's father, who pilots, and was just mercilessly, I want to say bullied, and it was one-upsmanship, like who could be more cruel to this guy. He eventually himself to death, and that's Mary's father. And then Diaper Donald saw how he didn't have the respect of Fred Trump for doing what he wanted to do, which was to become a pilot, very successful one. He was having a great time as one, but father just made it impossible. I can actually understand that. My dad was a little bit controlling like that as well. He was pretty pissed off with me, not taking over his business. So I actually, from a psychological perspective, there are a lot of people in America who think that, like Schittler, can't even say his name, but like Schittler, some people think of him as a father figure. Now, that to me shows that there is a swath of the population in America who had pretty messed up childhoods. And so yeah, it's a misogynistic family, a racist family, and there's so how do you know there's proof he's a racist? Yeah, of course there's lots of proof. There was a class action lawsuit by a bunch of black people who had been discriminated in housing, and that's how Diaper Donald met mentor Roy Kahn, who was a attorney for the mobsters in New York. And that's where Diaper Donald learned how to play the system. So Diaper Donald found this guy because he's a mobster he's an attorney for all the mobsters. He died of AIDS, and Diaper Donald just kind of like threw him under the bus because like anybody who's like sick or whatever, just like dust him. As well as veterans, of course, anyone who's disabled or we all know he's the POS, and absolutely no intellectual curiosity. He cheated to get into University of Penn, and I have been calling on University of Pennsylvania, and I invite everybody to do so. He should have his diploma revoked. Cheated to get in. It says in this book that somebody named Joe Shapiro took his entrance exam for him, and his older sister did all his homework. So let's all reach out to University of Pennsylvania, man. He's gets his diploma revoked, as well as Forbes. Everybody should be contacting Forbes and tagging them and stuff and say, hey, he lied to you about his wealth. He lied. Remember when Ivanka said that he saw a homeless person outside a Trump Tower, and he said, oh, that person is $7 billion richer because he was $7 billion in debt? Well, yeah, the Russian mobsters bailed him out. That's why he's in the pockets of Russia. Russia. It's not a hoax. Russia. He's a damn spy. He's been a spy since 1987. He's also been wearing a diaper since the 80s. Ha 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 ha. So you guys think he's the real strong guy, eh? No, he's the diaper douchebag who's a meth addict. He's done so much cocaine. He said he has a coke nose scar right there, and that's one of the reasons he wears so much makeup, is to cover up that coke nose scar, according to Noel Kassler, another stand-up comedian. Strongly recommend go check out his interviews, talking about how Diaper Donald wears a girdle. Yeah, it's strong, man. He wears a freaking girdle. Okay? And he wears as well 3-inch lifts. And he does his own hair, and it's like a long hank that he uses a ton of hairspray, and it takes him like an hour. He like swirls it on top of his head. So anyway, so the class action lawsuit in housing discrimination, which he had to pay out, and by the way, he has cheated. He can't even do a charity anymore. His so-called charity was shut down because he was defrauding all those charities. So yeah, Diaper Donald learned how to be a bully against his older brother and anyone, actually. It's a kind of one-upsmanship, and his father really liked that, and it raised his esteem in his father's eyes. So in order to get his father's attention and approval, that's how he became an asshole. One of the stories I often think about is how he destroyed precious pieces of arts to build Trump Tower. And he did it just out of spite, just to destroy things of beauty. And that's what he's like. He's a black hole of a person. Anyway, send me to Congress and smash that like and follow button and help me boost the algorithm, and write me and tell all your friends, write me on September 15th.